What's going on, everybody? It's Ricky with Videohomicide here with a VHS haul. It's been a while, okay? But just this past Sunday, Shock Stock, in conjunction with Odyssey Records and Cinema, held a VHS swap. They called it Cineswap. There was a bunch of really cool vendors, lots of awesome tapes kicking around. I seen some stuff that I really wanted, that I've been looking for a while. One thing I got from that department, but the rest of the stuff is just kind of like random finds. And you know, I'm not like an every day going to a thrifter kind of person. At one point I was kind of doing that shit every day. I was going anything remotely horror I was buying and stuff, and I ended up with a stockpile of shit. So after a few purges of the collection, I'm pretty satisfied with what I got right now. You can actually, if you look up at certain spots, you can see like empty holes. It's from tapes that I removed. A lot of stuff I did give to my dad because he gave me his collection, and then I sort of started giving him some of my own collection, you know what I mean, to watch and enjoy, because it was stuff that I didn't really want to like not ever be able to see again. It was just stuff that I had on Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 I have on Blu-ray. I'm not even really the biggest fan of that movie. I think it's okay, but I don't need it on tape. I just kind of kept like the Chainsaw Massacre films I love, like the first one and the remake from '03. But we're going to get into the stuff. Starting off with something I've been looking for years. Never actually seen one in the flesh. And that is none other than the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, loosely translated, the Book of the Dead. So this is the release of Evil Dead 2 that came as the Book of the Dead. Love it. It has one thing I always kind of wondered was like how many pages was in here. There's not as many as I thought, but what's in here is epic. Lots of really cool drawings and stuff. Really like this stuff. Like I love this shit, man. I'm so glad that I finally fucking own this. I want to make like my own version of this, minus the being inked in blood and bound in human flesh. I just like to make, get my own paper and stuff and age the paper and shit like that. So shout out to Retro or Die, but here's one of my fucking biggest problems with Army of Darkness. The end of Evil Dead 2 is so awesome, how it ends in like that medieval place, and then all of a sudden, in the beginning of Army of Darkness is completely different. And I know movies do that shit, but I think Army of Darkness is just so different compared to Evil Dead 2 and especially 1, but this does have the DVD, so really stoked about that. So there it is. I paid $20 for this, for the record, in case anyone was wondering, which was, had it been like 30 or 40, I would have passed, but 20 bucks, I've always wanted this, and it's going to be like a collection piece, like put up on the shelf kind of thing. I really dig that stuff. It feels way different than I thought it was gonna. I don't know why. I thought it was gonna be like a hard plastic. It's a very, my brother described it as, he said, this is how the bad guy from Jeepers Creepers, this is how his skin feels, is what he said, and I kind of agree. So moving on to the VHS tapes. It's been a while since I did a tape haul, man, I'm telling you. But the first one is something that I only bought because Justin, the homie that runs Odyssey, he had a bunch of tapes out front of the shop. Like, the event was in the parking lot of the shop, but he had a bunch of tapes out front, and they were 3 for $5. So I was scanning them, and I found 3 tapes. The first one's an anime film. It's called Curse of the Undead Yoma. Don't know much about this stuff. You guys know I'm not like the world's biggest connoisseur of anime. My brother is. I showed him this. He's like, oh, that's probably sick, but I plan on checking this out, putting it on the background when I'm drawing one night. At the top it says Ninjas versus the Living Dead, and it looks sort of like an adult style cartoon or animation, or anime, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't know anything about it, but it was directed by Takashi Anu, and it's from '89. So '89's a good year for Asian cinema. One of my favorite films of all time, The Killer, was released in that year. Here's one that, this was also from the Odyssey table. This is a movie called House of the Long Shadows. The reason I picked this up is because of the lineup of fucking actors. We've got Christopher Lee, Vincent Price, Peter Cushing, and John Carradine, I believe. Yep, John Carradine. So this is a bunch of horror icons in a film, and I'm into it just off the novelty of all those actors being in the same film, because they've all, Peter Cushing, of course, is probably one of my favorite of the the Hammer actors, and we won't just say Hammer, but like that era, like the Vincent Prices, the you know what I mean. I almost said Boris Karloff, but anyways, don't know much about this. It's kind of a cut box, so I don't really know what the story is. This is a jumbo video release. I wonder if it's from, yep, one of the ones in London. I love that shit, man. Next we've got another movie I've never seen. I have a DVD-R of it, and I don't know if I ever even really watched it. I've seen Badass, which is sort of a sequel of this movie, Sweetback's Badass Song, which is a blaxploitation flick, directed and starring Mario Van Peebles. Really stoked to watch this. Like, it's one of those movies that you kind of hear about, but in terms of blaxploitation films, it's not like one of the ones that I think of personally right off the bat. I think of movies like The Black Godfather, Coffee, different flicks like that. I love The Black Godfather, for the record. I think the ending is awesome with the meat cleaver, but yeah, Sweetback's Badass Song. Next, we got, Justin gave me this movie for free, and I don't know like, all I know about it is what he told me. And here's like the like the back of it. It's sort of like a really kind of bare bones tape that I just fucked up. Can't close it now. What the fuck did I do now? There we go. It's a movie called Pin, and it's a Canadian film. I'm interested to check this out. I love Canadian films. I love what he described to me was it was sort of like a weird kind of psycho-ish movie. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna check it out. Pin. We'll see how it is. And finally, the last tape of this haul is something that is awesome. Really stoked about this. We've got Volume 1 of Spike and Mike's Sick and Twisted Festival of Animation. So a lot of really monumental animations got their start from the Spike and Mike's Festival. I believe Frog Baseball by Mike Judge was started there. I believe that the South Park short screened there as well. That big butcher guy, I forget what his name is, Lupo the Butcher. This guy was doing graffiti with Annie 33. He did a giant Lupo the Butcher painting, but there it is, Spike and Mike's, man. There's this one animation that this one's from Suspect Video, so shout out to Toronto, Ontario. But there's this one animation short, I forget the name of it. I have it in my favorited videos on YouTube, like a playlist. It's a private playlist, but there's this animation of this guy that's like supposed to be a babysitter, and he babysits this kid, and he ends up microwaving the kid and putting it and like eating it and shit. So if anybody knows the name of that animation right off the bat, leave it in the comments, because I'd like to be able to watch that without fucking scrolling through thousands of liked or favorited videos. But anyways, that's basically it. I hope everyone has a fantastic week this week. Make sure you leave a 666 in the comments. And with that being said, Cinema 187 is on track, and the submissions are coming in. I'm having a good time looking at this stuff, plotting what I'm going to do with the final product. So yeah, man, adios, and stay safe. And also, take care of yourself and each other.